Good morning. Well, I decided to come outside. Got a little late start today, but I wanted to keep with yesterday's devotional on witnessing. So today's title is going to be When to Speak and When to Show. And I'm going to try to do a witness series this week. So we'll just see if God changes that up on me or not. But as an opening thought, sometimes the best witnessing doesn't come with words, it comes with how you live. In fact, we may never know who's watching. Uh, you know, if we're carrying ourselves a certain way in traffic, at the store, or in the workplace, um, where it's full of pressure and chaos. The world's noisy, it's angry, but peace stands out. Kindness shines. Self-control is rare, and that's exactly why it's powerful to sometimes witness just as Jesus would, being silent. In today's world, a lot of people have heard about Jesus, but very few have actually seen him um, in someone like myself or anyone that's doing witnessing. So that's where we do come in. You know, Jesus didn't teach us sermons, he lived them. He touched lepers, he forgave prostitutes, he wept with friends. Um, he never compromised the truth, which was the Bible, right? In the way he wanted to live his life. In Matthew 5:16, let your light shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Notice, it doesn't say hear your words, it says see your words. That means how we handle stress, how we treat rude people, uh, how we respond to criticism. All that is part of witness and being a witness. I want to share a personal and one of the best compliments I have ever received in my life. About 24 years ago, I was managing two divisions, one in northern Indiana and one in Chicago. And I'd spend a couple days a week in the Chicago division, a couple nights, and then, just back and forth. And about a month, less than a month into that assignment in Chicago, I was walking the manufacturing floor when one of the manufacturing personnel stopped me, pulled out his Walkman earbuds. And for those of you that are too young to know what a Walkman is, it was before all the social media. It's right next to the phone booth, the dial up network that we no longer use. But, well, this die maker said to me, pulled that out and said, "You're into God, aren't you?" At first, I didn't hear him clearly. It was somewhat loud in the manufacturing area. So I said, "Excuse me." And he repeated, "You're into God, aren't you?" And wow, that caught me off guard. And I said, "Well, if you're asking if I'm a Christian, then yes, I am." He just nodded and said, "I knew it," put his earbud back in, went back into work. And I had to run back to shipping, and then I had to get out of there because fighting Chicago traffic on Fridays was not easy. I knew I had to be a certain place in a certain way, or else I was going to get caught in a lot of traffic or coming out of Chicago. So I zipped out of there. I didn't have time to really ask him anything. So I get through the weekend. It's off and on. I'm thinking about this employee, and I drive back up to Chicago that next week. And the first thing I do is I walk into the manufacturing floor and I head straight to his area. And I ask him, I said, "Hey, Bill, last week you asked me if I was a Christian, and you said you knew it." I said, "I have to ask, how did you know it?" He looked up and said, "You're the first plant manager that we've ever had that doesn't scream at us, cuss at us, threaten our jobs. You kind of just act like how Jesus would. You're polite, you're firm." He said, "We already knew you were strict coming in, but I didn't realize you would be this polite from everything I heard. I said, well, thank you for the compliment. I said, I have my moments. I just keep them to myself. And I walked away. You know, um, I wasn't preaching at anyone, but because I let my life do the talking, it was noticeable. Even when I wasn't walking closely with the Lord at different times in my life, um, I would not point, scream, or belittle people. That's just not my way of doing things. I'm strict, without a doubt. I'm strict, but I'm not a screamer when it comes to those things. I did that on the football fields when I was coaching, yelling. So the closing reminder here would be some of the most powerful witnessing we'll ever do doesn't come with a microphone or a Bible. It comes through integrity, through patience, I guess through just showing Christ, even when you don't say his name. So let's make a goal this week. Don't just talk about Jesus, but be like him. In 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 12, live such good lives among the pagans that though they accuse you of doing wrong, they may see your good deeds and glorify God on the day he visits us. Amen. Have a great day, everyone. God bless you all. Thank you.